Days of Our Lives. Sophia's dark secret about to explode. Baby Tesoro's health crisis forces devastating truth. The walls are closing in on Sophia Choi as her web of lies begins to unravel in the most dramatic way possible. A mother's desperate secret reaches breaking point. The peaceful town of Salem is about to be rocked by one of the most heart-wrenching revelations in recent days of our lives' history. Sophia Choi, Rachel Boyd, a young woman carrying the weight of an impossible decision, finds herself trapped in a lie that grows more dangerous by the day. What started as a desperate attempt to protect everyone she loved is now threatening to destroy the very people she was trying to save. For months, Sophia has been living with a secret so devastating that it has consumed her every waking moment. The teenage mother made the agonizing decision to give up her baby, telling everyone, including the father, Tate Black, Leo Howard, that the child had been placed with a loving adoptive family. But the truth is far more shocking. Baby Tesoro never left Salem, and Sophia has been watching from the shadows as her biological child grows up just steps away from his unknowing father. The health crisis that changes everything. According to explosive new spoilers, Baby Tesoro is facing serious health complications that will require immediate medical attention. In a cruel twist of fate, the very crisis that Sophia hoped would never come has arrived with devastating consequences. Medical experts are indicating that Tesoro may need organ donations from his biological parents to survive this life-threatening condition. This medical emergency creates an impossible situation for Sophia. How can she continue to maintain her elaborate deception when her child's life hangs in the balance? The young mother finds herself facing the most difficult decision of her already troubled life. Continue the lie and risk losing her son forever, or reveal the truth and face the consequences of her deception. Amy Choi's growing suspicions rock the foundation. Sophia's own mother, Amy Choi, Shirna Nielsen, is beginning to piece together the disturbing truth about her daughter's behavior. Amy has been increasingly worried about Sophia's mental state, noting her daughter's obsessive interest in Baby Tesoro and her strange emotional reactions whenever the child is mentioned. The observant mother has made a startling observation that sends chills down viewers' spines. Tesoro bears an unmistakable resemblance to Sophia's younger brother. This family resemblance is becoming impossible to ignore, and Amy's maternal instincts are telling her that something is terribly wrong with her daughter's adoption story. Amy isn't just concerned about the physical resemblance, she's also noticed her daughter's increasingly erratic behavior. Sophia has been experiencing severe mood swings, sleepless nights, and what appears to be symptoms of postpartum depression that she's been hiding from everyone around her. The weight of her secret is literally making her sick, and Amy can no longer ignore the signs that her daughter is in serious emotional distress. Javi Hernandez connects the dangerous dots. Meanwhile, Javi Hernandez, Al Calderon, has become another key player in unraveling Sophia's carefully constructed lie. His sharp investigative instincts have led him to notice inconsistencies in Sophia's story that don't add up. Javi has been quietly gathering information, and the pieces of the puzzle are starting to form a picture that could expose everything. Sources close to the storyline suggest that Javi has been conducting his own informal investigation, noting strange coincidences and timeline discrepancies that make Sophia's adoption story increasingly unbelievable. His persistence in seeking the truth could be the catalyst that finally brings Sophia's house of cards crashing down. Tate Black's desperate quest for his child. Perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of this unfolding drama is Tate Black's unwavering determination to be part of his child's life. The young father has been struggling with the loss of his baby and desperately wants to establish some form of contact with the adoptive family. His grief and longing as a father who was forced to give up his child has been evident in every scene. Tate's attempts to reach out to the supposed adoptive parents have been consistently blocked by Melinda Trask, Tina Huang, who has been serving as the architect of this elaborate deception. When Tate tried to write a heartfelt letter to his child's new family, Melinda quickly shut down his efforts, claiming it would be inappropriate and potentially harmful to the adoption arrangement. The frustrated young father, along with Holly Jonas, Ashley Puzimis, is now reportedly seeking legal counsel from Belle Black, Martha Madison. This legal consultation could be the turning point that exposes the entire conspiracy. Belle, with her sharp legal mind, will likely want to examine the original adoption paperwork, documentation that could reveal glaring inconsistencies in Sophia's story. One of the most damning pieces of evidence could be Sophia's original claim that this was an open adoption arrangement. If that were truly the case, wouldn't Tate have been provided with contact information, including at least a last name or mailing address for the adoptive family? The absence of such basic information could be the smoking gun that brings the truth to light. Melinda Trask's manipulation reaches breaking point. At the center of this web of deception is Melinda Trask, whose role as both legal advisor and manipulator has created an incredibly complex situation. Melinda has been the driving force behind keeping Sophia secret, consistently talking the young mother out of revealing the truth whenever her conscience begins to weigh on her. This storyline bears striking similarities to the recent Sloane Peterson, Jessica Serfati, baby controversy, suggesting that Salem's legal community may have a serious problem with lawyers who prioritize their own agendas over their clients' best interests and legal obligations. The power dynamic between Melinda and Sophia is particularly troubling. Sophia was just a scared teenager when she gave birth, dealing with raging hormones, overwhelming emotions, and the fear of facing her family and community. Melinda, as an experienced adult and legal professional, should have guided Sophia toward making decisions in everyone's best interest. Instead, she has trapped the young woman in an increasingly dangerous lie. Sarah Horton Kyriakis faces her own demons. Adding another layer of complexity to this storyline is Sarah Horton Kyriakis, Lindsay Godfrey, who is dealing with her own guilt over her romantic entanglement with Brady Black, Eric Martsolf. Sarah's personal crisis may intersect with Sophia's situation in unexpected ways. Recent spoilers indicate that Brady confronted Sarah during the week of August 18, 2025, potentially about her involvement in or knowledge of Sophia's secret. Sarah has reportedly been pressuring Sophia to tell the truth, suggesting that she may be one of several people who could ultimately expose the adoption deception. Sarah's own moral struggles may drive her to take action that forces Sophia's hand. As someone who has made her own mistakes and faced the consequences, Sarah may feel compelled to prevent Sophia from making the same errors in judgment that could have lasting consequences for everyone involved. The medical crisis that forces the truth. The most dramatic element of this storyline revolves around baby Tesoro's health crisis. Medical storylines in soap operas often serve as the catalyst for revealing long-held secrets, and this situation appears to be following that tried-and-true formula. When Tesoro was born, viewers noticed that he cried more than typical newborns, which may have been an early indication of underlying health problems. Now, those initial concerns appear to be manifesting into a serious medical condition that requires immediate family medical history and potentially organ donations from biological relatives. This medical emergency creates a ticking clock scenario that soap opera fans know all too well. Sophia will be forced to choose between maintaining her lie and potentially losing her child forever, or revealing the truth and facing the devastating consequences of her deception. The inevitable arrest and aftermath. Spoilers strongly suggest that Sophia's arrest is imminent once the truth comes to light. The legal ramifications of her actions, including potentially filing false adoption papers, fraud, and emotional manipulation, could result in serious criminal charges. The question remains, who will be the person who finally exposes Sophia's secret? Will it be Amy's maternal instincts, Javi's investigative persistence, Tate and Holly's legal consultation, Sarah's guilt-driven confession, or will Sophia herself be forced to reveal the truth when faced with her son's medical crisis? What this means for Salem's future. This storyline promises to have far-reaching consequences that will affect multiple families in Salem. Tate will finally learn that his son has been nearby all along, but he may also discover that precious time with his child has been stolen from him. The betrayal and emotional trauma could have lasting effects on his relationships and his ability to trust others in the future. For Sophia, the revelation will likely result in legal consequences, but it may also provide the emotional relief she desperately needs. Living with such a significant lie has clearly taken a toll on her mental health, and the truth, however painful, may ultimately be the first step toward healing and redemption. The ripple effects will extend to Amy, who must come to terms with her daughter's deception, and to Melinda, whose role in orchestrating this lie will likely face professional and personal consequences. As Days of Our Lives continues to deliver the dramatic, emotionally charged storylines that have kept viewers engaged for decades, this particular plot promises to be one of the most memorable and impactful in recent memory. The combination of family secrets, medical crises, legal drama, and moral dilemmas creates the perfect storm for the kind of television that reminds us why soap operas remain such a beloved part of daytime television. Stay tuned as this explosive storyline continues to unfold, bringing with it the tears, revelations, and dramatic confrontations that make Days of Our Lives must-watch television for fans who have been following these beloved characters through all of life's most challenging moments. Julie's new chapter, finding comfort, friendship, and hope in a Salem bookstore. Life often has a way of surprising us, even when we think we've already seen it all. For Julie Williams, one of Salem's most beloved figures, that surprise comes in the form of a quaint little bookstore, one that not only holds shelves of stories but also the possibility of a new beginning. This isn't simply a story about a woman purchasing a shop. It's about friendship, grief, memory, and the stubborn resilience of the human spirit, something Julie and her dear friend Marlena know all too well. A familiar comfort in books. The story begins in the most unassuming way. Marlena walks in to find Julie deeply absorbed in a book. Julie isn't reading a light-hearted romance or a thrilling mystery, but instead, a guide about handling situations beyond one's control. It's a telling choice, reflecting her inner struggles and frustrations. As she mutters about Chad, particularly about how he's allowed a certain troublesome figure to weave her way back into his life, Julie's tone carries both annoyance and worry. She is, after all, protective of those she loves. Marlena listens patiently, reminding Julie that Chad and this woman continue to insist they're just friends. But Julie isn't convinced. With a knowing twinkle in her eye, she recalls the old saying that friendship often blossoms into something deeper. She even brings up a song from their younger days about friends who become lovers, humming a tune that carries them both back in time. In that moment, the room feels lighter. Memories, laughter, and a shared history float between them. It's a reminder that even in dark or confusing times, music, friendship, and nostalgia have the power to heal. A change of subject, and a change of life. Sensing that the conversation is straying into tender territory, Julie pivots. Let's talk about something warm, fun, and cozy, she suggests. Her eyes land on the bookstore itself. Surrounded by rows of novels, poetry, and histories, she admits she's been thinking about the shop more seriously. Marlena, ever supportive, encourages her to pursue the thought. They talk about the weight of grief, about how hard it can be to step forward after losing the love of your life. Marlena understands this all too well, and the two women share a quiet, meaningful exchange about how books, much like people, can carry stories of joy and loss. Sometimes, the act of opening a new book can mirror the courage it takes to begin a new chapter in one's own life. Before long, Marlena has to leave, but not without thanking Foster, the current owner, for helping Rachel find a book. Foster, with his characteristic generosity, insists they take it home. Marlena gently scolds him for giving away his stock so freely, but Foster only smiles. Julie hugs her friend and promises they'll see each other soon. It is a warm, simple goodbye, one that leaves Julie standing among the shelves, thinking deeply about what her next step might be. Foster's struggles, Julie's decision. Not long after, Julie playfully confronts Foster about his overly generous nature. If you keep giving away your inventory, no wonder you're going bankrupt, she teases. But behind the playful words lies a serious truth. Independent bookstores, once the beating heart of communities, have been dwindling in number for years. Big chains, online giants, and shifting habits have taken their toll. Foster admits that business hasn't been good. He has no other serious bidders interested in the store, and he doesn't see a way forward. But Julie isn't ready to let this little shop vanish. Salem, she insists, has a way of reviving things that others might see as lost causes. After all, the town itself is a place where miracles and second chances seem to happen every day. In that spirit, Julie tells Foster she wants to buy the bookstore. It's not just a financial decision, it's an emotional one. For her, this store represents more than shelves and sales. It represents community, hope, and a way to honor the past while building something new. A symbol of resilience. For the older residents of Salem, bookstores have always been sanctuaries. They were places where children discovered magic for the first time, where young couples strolled hand in hand, and where grieving hearts found solace in the wisdom of printed words. To see another bookstore close would be more than a loss of business, it would be a loss of history and tradition. Julie understands this better than anyone. As someone who has weathered decades of change in Salem, she knows that preserving traditions matters. And she also knows that sometimes, stepping into something new, whether it's running a shop or simply daring to hope again, can bring healing. Looking ahead. With her decision made, Julie begins to envision what life might look like as the new owner of the bookstore. She sees cozy evenings with friends gathered around for readings, children giggling in the corner as they pick out their first chapter books, and neighbors stopping by for conversation as much as for literature. And through it all, she knows she won't be alone. Marlena, as always, will be by her side. Their friendship, tested by time and strengthened by shared trials, remains a constant source of encouragement. Together, they embody the idea that even in loss, even in frustration, there are always new chapters waiting to be written. Julie's decision to buy the bookstore is more than just a business move, it's a story of friendship, tradition, and the belief that no matter how difficult life becomes, new beginnings are always possible. For those who have lived long enough to experience loss, hardship, and change, her journey is a touching reminder. We may not control the chapters life hands us, but we always have the choice to turn the page.